because of course that space underneath is open, right? And so they have to wrap their pipes with heat tape and just to keep going and all of that. So, but yeah, for the most part, it's okay. It's just like your car and everything that's outside takes a beating in the cold. So yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we are. We're already live, Amber. It's amazing to hear what you deal with on a day-to-day basis. Minus 30, she said, and Celsius. So if anybody's feeling cold, we can all think about you and we'll immediately warm up.
Yeah.
It's great to send ice if you'd like. I'll send a package ice.
That's right. Okay, business. It's a package ice. It's great to see so many of you here, of my wonderful students here. So happy to see you. Eddie's here and Amber. Patricia's here. Anne, great to see you. Catherine with camera on. Yay. Deborah's here. Deborah, we're going to finish our conversation from, what was it, Thursday. Millicent is here. And Jewel, hi. Liana, how are you, Liana? Good to see you. And we've got Scott. Fantastic, and Taylor and Alec and our other Scott in Australia on the other side of the world. Gilbert is here, and we got Kyra and Charissa and Iris and Esna and Patricia and Gloria and Andrew and Joseph and Sabina and Justin and Elisa and Lav, Comfort Smith, and so many students are joining as I speak. Gwyneth just came online, and Bridget and Evelyn. Fantastic. Really great to be here with all of you on January 11th, 111. What a fantastic date. So 111-2022 must be a mystical date for having all of those numbers. And that's just really special to acknowledge. These calls are daily success calls. So they're run by John Lavinia and myself. I lead the Tuesday and Thursday. He leads the Monday and Wednesday, and then we, kind of switch around the Fridays, or he leads the Fun Fridays. It's a fun Friday and really, really great. And so these are all about the mindset. If you've just joined the Low Hanging System, these calls are all about the mindset, creating the right mindset for your business. We do have a fabulous community that helps out with the how-tos after this call. I'll tell you all about it at the end of this call. Oh, Esna is also from New Zealand. Welcome, Esna. Really great to have you here, because that's the middle of the night there. It's either 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe 6 if you're a little bit more advanced on the time zones there. And so really happy to be, oh yes, we see Patricia's husband there in the background. Do we, Steve? Is that Steve? We caught you. Hi, Steve. We love you without even knowing you. Patricia tells us all the great things. Oh, 7:15 for you, Asna. Okay, so really, that's great. That's a comfortable time. All right. So last week we had a request from Deborah. She kind of put into the chat, and definitely we do take requests, if anybody wants a specific topic. And she wrote fear. She wants us to talk about fear of failure and fear of success. So last week on Thursday, we had a really great conversation about fear of failure. And today I thought we would talk about fear of success. However, I wanted to hear from Deborah to kind of wrap up that end of that portion, because you did have something to say about that session, and we didn't have time. We went way over our regular time. So Deborah, do you want to share kind of what you felt on that at the end of that session where we talked about the fear of success?
Well, at the end, when you talk about fear of success, fear of failure, yes. It's a foreboding, unconscious feeling that comes over you that if you are successful, what next? Okay, what can I do? What am I going to do with this success? How can I handle it? And just a mere fact of knowing if you are successful, suppose someone sells a cup and it's the first time they sell it.
1 second, Deborah, don't move into fear of success yet. Fear of success is today's topic. So we're summarizing. Fear of failure. Right.
Yeah, fear of failure.
Talked about that last time, and you wanted to say something and we didn't have time. So yes,
I'm kind of confused there. Fear of failure, yes, it is even worse to me than a fear of success, because that can almost stagnate you to stop where you are. Thank you for bring me back to that. And the fear of failure will keep you in a mode of procrastination, keep you in a mode of just like a little animal on a wheel, just what can I do? And I'm afraid to go forward. So it's just like I guess what they say, with runners run and they hit the wall. It's like hitting the wall in business, the fear of, failure. I'll just leave it at that.
Did you find the conversation helpful? Did it give you some tips on how to overcome?
Yes, because I'm sure most of us here have had that feeling some point in whatever they've done in business or whatever they're doing in their lives. And I can't imagine anybody not having a fear of failure at some point in time. Some people are very good to move through and past that, but a good many of us just hit the wall sometimes.
All right. Thank you for sharing right at the beginning. And I'll just kind of give a summary of what we were talking about, because we were actually rewiring. We were saying, failure is not something that prevents us from being successful. It's actually a stepping stone to get to the success point. That's kind of where we're going to bring our conversation to today. And really, it is oftentimes some kind of a notion that was ingrained in our mind by someone else or by ourselves at a certain time in our lives, and it might no longer serve us. So we quoted that book that talks about failing forward. So fail often, fail early, and fail forward. So to try to really change the way that we view this word failure that has such a heavy weight on our body and on our mind, and if we can look at it as just a stepping stone, as and I shared even that graphic that shows you the different way of looking at how we perceive failure. So that was just I wanted to allow you that time to reflect on that, because you didn't get a chance last time. Let's move on to the second part of your question, which was about fear of success. So, and you kind of touched on some of those points where you talked about, procrastination and all that. Again, it comes back to this idea of what will happen once we're successful, right? What are fears really? When we're afraid of something, it's almost this unknown space, or maybe even known. Maybe we had an encounter with someone, and we know kind of what the result of that encounter was, and it's not something that we want again for ourselves. So we kind of have this fear, right? Let's say, even if we were attacked by a dog or something, now we are afraid of dogs, right? We can carry that on with us. If we had an encounter where we saw some people not handling their money well or mistreating other people, we might have in our mind this sense that if now we become millionaires, we are going to have this unwanted result. And something so important to remember is that money and riches don't determine who you are. It doesn't determine who you are. Actually, by having a lot of money and you're a really good person and you want to help so many people, in turn, you will be able to share your success with others. So you can actually use these riches and use what you've now gained in order to create your dreams, to help others, to really pay it forward, so to speak. And so that's something that really is important. So first of all, we need to look at the root of what makes us afraid of success, right? And this is a real thing. They even give it a phobia name, achievophobia, something like that. They really name these things. So we have to acknowledge that this is something that people are feeling around the world. We can't just say, hey, that's who's going to be afraid of success? That doesn't make any sense. Well, okay, people are afraid of success. And so how to understand what exactly we're afraid of. We need to get into that root of what does success mean to us? What have we seen in our life that might send this message to our brain that, if we now are millionaires or have all these riches or attain the success, we will then look a certain way, become a certain way, have a certain outcome, that this specific idea causes us to be fearful of it. So once we can see that, once we can really evaluate what it is, we might then be able to say, oh, wow, well, this is really not, this is, maybe we could say nonsense, or we could say, well, I don't agree with that today. Okay, because I already have so much more confidence in myself. So let's say we've decided in our mind, if I become successful, I'm going to be this horrible person and I'm going to mistreat everyone, and won't be fun to be around, and all of my friends will desert me and my family won't want to be around me. We can perpetuate this idea, really let it go like a snowball. And so suddenly, we'll say, well, one second, my family loves me And if I have, more money, then I can, we can go on more family vacations. We can spend more time as a family. We can do all these things that now, because I have to dedicate so much time to making money, won't be the case anymore. If I have riches, what am I going to do with them? Remember, we talk about that one often. What are we going to do with these riches? So once you have a clear plan of what you're about to do with these riches, maybe that'll make you feel so secure in your journey. Wow, I intend in, I've spoken to some of you, and you had said, I want to open a charity and I want to start this movement, or I want to help women's shelters. A lot of you have said that on different personal calls that we've had one-on-one. I mean, that is a grand thing to do. That is so awesome, right? Any type of charitable work or helping others. Some of you had said, I want to help out my brother. I want to help out my sister. I want to help out my parents. These are things that are admirable. And if you write them down, what you're going to do with the money once you have it, that might help you feel like, wow, I'm going to achieve this. And I'm not going to become this Grinch. I'm not going to become this person who hoards the money to myself. I'm actually going to, and that's even not a good word to use. That's not but in your mind, right? You actually want to do good with the money. So you see how you go on this pattern. And I just gave you some ideas. Maybe you don't resonate with any of those ideas. So write down what it is that you're afraid of, and then write out what you're going to do with the money once you obtain it. You begin to look at these individual ideas that you've instilled in yourself or attracted to yourself, and see how they no longer relate to you. Maybe you can find someone who is a millionaire that you can relate to much better, right? I know Secrets of a Millionaire's Mind, he talks about that right at the beginning of the book. And he also talks about how, rich people expect to succeed. Maybe we can play with that aspect of the conversation for a moment. Expect to succeed, right? Expect to succeed. You don't expect to maybe succeed, or maybe not lose, or maybe not fail. Expect to succeed. So there is so much confidence in that, confidence in your creativity, confidence that you deserve this, that, you already know that you know what to do with the money once you have it, right? So that's another big one. What do you do with the money once you have it? How are you going to handle it? And so you have confidence that you can magnetize money to you and lead with confidence, lead, any group, any creation, any business that you want to establish for yourself. You have confidence in your own abilities to lead in the direction that is positive, to create those dreams and those goals that you wrote down, to really provide for others, right? Once you're a business owner, so now everyone here is a business owner and you have your own business. And maybe for the majority of the people on the call, you have just you as an employer, maybe one or two. What happens when you are so successful in this business that you can now employ 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 people? Look at Rachel. Right? How many people does she employ and provide for through this platform, through this business? It transforms the lives of many. So suddenly you've created this stream of business for yourself, but you're able to now affect and help so many others provide for their family. And that's huge. That's huge. That can go on your vision board. That can go on your list. That can really be something that highlights how you are approaching this new success that you are creating for yourself. And so we start by really looking into the root of this idea of not running towards success or kind of holding ourselves back. And I mentioned in the beginning this idea of procrastination, which was Deborah was talking about that. When we procrastinate, when we kind of pause, right? Procrastination is we're pausing before we act. I'm going to go ahead and mute. I've been muting some of you. If you want to go ahead and talk, you just unmute, just so there's no background noise. And so procrastination. So when we pause before we act, right? When we just kind of hesitate, then, okay, what are we going to achieve by that? What are we going to, how are we going to move forward? And so moving either because of the fear or in spite of the fear, any way that gets you going is a blessing. Going back to Secrets of a Millionaire's Mind, one of his affirmations there, he talks about, ready, aim, fire. Like, I'm ready, I'm going to get it, I'm doing it, 5-second rule by Mel Robbins, I believe. She talks about that. And you just count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, act. So we have to first be aware of what our thought process is and what's holding us back. We have to first see it, right? If we're blind to that, if we don't know, if we're not aware, then we're just going to continue on this path and we're just going to roll into the same thing over and over again. But if first we can become aware, and then we can decide, does this benefit me right now? Is this going to lead me to where I want to be? So if we've decided that we want to be millionaires, if this thought that once I have money, it's not going to be good for me, well, we're holding us back without even knowing. There can be this unconscious pattern in our mind. You can do this activity. What is, when you hear the word millionaire, what comes up for you? What kind of words are you attaching to millionaire? Again, that book does that at the beginning. He talks about being, what are, some people say filthy rich or words like that. If you have those ideas in your mind, then in the back of your mind, you are holding yourself back from attaining the riches that you desire. So first we have to unpack it. We have to unbox it. We have to unveil it. We have to see billionaire. Scott says, I like that. Very good. So now Scott is becoming confident in this idea, which maybe wasn't the case in the beginning, but Scott now says, I deserve it. I'm worthy. I've worked all my life. I've done all the things and I'm worthy and I should be a billionaire. Okay. So now let's get to it. Ready, aim, fire. Let's get active. Let's start moving towards this goal, right? Because if we just sit down and visualize and talk about it and think about it, okay, great. We're reprogramming, writing a whole book on it. Fantastic. But if we don't take action, if we sit with this procrastination, if we are kind of holding ourselves back physically from the physical actions that require us to become the billionaires, the money is not going to fall from the sky. There might be that 1% that it happens for them. They fill out the lottery and they get the golden ticket and it's all good and grand. And that's fantastic. But for the rest of us, we need to put one foot in front of each other, in front of another, and work at it. Get into it. Action always beats inaction. Okay. Get moving. And somebody wrote it here. Meeting host. That would be me, but I guess not. I didn't put that in. That's funny. Achieving something half-assed is better than waiting for perfection. Somebody wrote. Might be two meeting hosts here today. Interesting. But yeah. Oh yeah, there are two hosts. All right. Is John Lavinia here with us and I don't know? Fantastic. Love having you here. Wonderful. And so, yeah, but you see, he wrote it out. And that's exactly, what we're talking about is taking action, moving forward. And so let's talk about this here now. I'll open the opportunity up for you all to share on your ideas of how to overcome this idea of fear of success. What has held you back from moving forward? Anything that you want to talk about, your journey with this, and if it struck a chord with some of you, what is going to lead you forward to move no matter what? Like, how can you really obtain that success? And most of you have already written this down. Okay, you've written down your goals, you've written down your how you're going to get there and your opportunities, so you should know the path already. So I'm talking about those who have been on the business strategy sessions and have already been here for a while. We asked you to write this out, so you should know. Here we have our wonderful Scott. Let's hear from you.
Hola, Ani.
There we go.
I hope everybody's having a great day. I'm sorry I haven't been around here for the last couple of days, but life does things, and sometimes, you got to do what you got to do. And just as long as you know that you can come back to it with a newer focus, maybe a different picture, different mentality, different vision, whatever that may be. But just to go on this thing about, setting those goals. I had to refocus again. This January 1st has been a new revelation. And here we are, or on the 11th. And I'm like, it's the 11th. What have I been doing for the last 11 days? Well, actually, I've had to stall a little bit because there's things I don't know that I have to learn. And it isn't something I want to learn, believe it or not. And I have to learn it to get better at what I'm going to be doing. So along with what we're talking about here, I guess, I don't know, I'm just going through this right now, so it's the only way I can relate to what we're talking about. So I had to reset some goals today, and I did something I haven't been doing lately. I usually don't put a date on a piece of paper when I start my new tasks for some reason. I don't use limitations of dates and times and stuff too. I look at it like, here's my page, accomplish what's on this page and get that done. Do it as soon as you can, do it as fast as you can, with as much efficiency as you possibly can, to move on to the second blank page that is coming. So I kind of do that in a way. And so, I know that I can't accomplish all these things that I wrote down today because, I filled out a whole new page of things to do this week. And, they're numbered with tasks at hand, up to 8. And, I'm learning new skills again, and here I am. So I think doing these things on a daily basis, is getting over the fear of doing it, knowing that you can, and realizing that there's resources and help on every avenue and every plateau out there. Just ask for it and you shall receive. Reading a great book today, and if anybody's been reading it or has read it, they'll understand what I'm going to say when I say be, do, have.
Yeah.
So that's today's little thing that I'm taking away, is the be, do, have. And it's one of my mentors that is teaching me these things. And I know that we're learning from him all these things that we keep learning. And I'm loving his book right now. And I'm like, wow, how simple can he possibly make this for me? But it is pretty simple. Just be, do, and have it. There you go.
Yeah. Wonderful. Beautiful, Scott. And thanks for sharing all of your tips and how you are moving forward and how you're getting there. It really is, you're saying it's not like we're going to deny that there are going to be challenges along the way. And sometimes we'll feel better and sometimes we won't feel as great. But you are showing these tools and how you overcome these challenges and turn them into something positive. So by writing down the dates, Think and Grow Rich talks about that a lot. And so many of the other books, like, give it a date, give it a timeline. It's okay if you don't meet that date, that's fine. You push it out, you keep on going, you keep on being so crystal clear with how you're moving forward that, eventually you get there, you will arrive. And that's fantastic.
Right. I agree. The date example to me is how I wasn't doing something with it. And at least now I'm putting a start date on it. I'm not putting an end date on it yet. And maybe that'll be my next thing I get to being able to do better. So my, just things get better on my decision making, on that, ready, aim, fire, and release it and let it happen. I think that's the next thing. And then what do you do with it when it does that? It's a target. What are you going to do then? That's the success that a lot of us don't understand, I think. And so it's like, so put yourself in the thought of where is that going to take you when it does happen? That, right, to me, is very powerful. As a hunter, you project that kind of stuff. As a golfer, you project that kind of stuff. So even in life, I think every day we're supposed to project that of where we want to be and what it's going to look like after we fire. You did this one process. What's the next one going to bring to you next from achieving that goal of I don't know what you call it, conviction? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Conviction is a good one. Yeah. Sticking with it, perseverance, consistency. Those are good words. All right, let's hear from Scott Barker.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning, everyone. You talked about the fear of success, and you mentioned was made about how people will treat you, and what sort of person you'll be like, and so forth. Now, one thing that's important is that as you achieve goals and as you move forward, you will change. In fact, you will not achieve those goals and move forward unless you do change. So change is part of the entire equation. That doesn't mean the people around you will change. Sometimes in any sort of self-development, in any way, you will resonate with some people and you will go out of resonance with other people who may be family or not. And you may find as in this sort of the challenges we're facing this time. There are people we can resonate with that are not family. And there are some who are our family who no longer resonate. And that can happen with any sort of self-development or change. And that's part of life. But the thing is, though, the thing about money is that it will magnify what you are. So the important thing is to develop yourself to be the best person you can be. So that when you are in a position of power, and money is power, if nothing else, then you can magnify a good power, a good force. And frankly, I think in many respects, that's too far to worry about. I think if you're paralyzed with fear, like a deer in a headlight, then basically just take the next small step, or make that your goal. If it is, the next hour, if need be, if that's all you feel you can accomplish, you can actually physically do, then go for that. And then once you do that, you go for another one, and you build up your confidence slowly. The future will take care of itself. Just focus on what you feel is within your control today, right now, this minute. For some people, say you have a car accident or whatever, wiggling your toe might be the goal for the next hour, or just learning to swallow after a terrible accident. That could be the challenge. And just anything you can do to articulate a muscle might be a challenge, and that would be enough. It depends on where you are. It doesn't really matter what the goal is, as long as you set a goal, achieve it, reset. Set a goal and achieve it and reset. No matter how small it is, could you keep on moving forward? Eating an elephant one bite at a time. That's what it's all about. Or even one lick at a time if you have to. That doesn't really matter. I mean, that's and one thing too. You asked, whether these behaviors, these procrastinating behaviors, are benefiting us. I don't think anyone sort of questions that. Obviously not, but I don't think these are logical decisions that we make. These are emotional responses. So I think a logical sort of paradigm doesn't always serve. And that's why we need to take all the emotional baggage out of it by resetting to a very small, tiny, minuscule goal. And before you know it, those goals will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you will change as a person, and you'll wonder why or how you ever thought that way. In fact, you'll look back and say, who on earth was that person? Because it wasn't me. Because the me changes as you achieve the goals. That's my thoughts anyway.
Beautiful. Thank you, Scott. It's beautiful. Yeah. So you took us into that larger picture, the wide perspective. I like to call it the zoom out, right? The bigger, larger scale magnitude of ideas where we're headed. That's that success, the millionaire, billionaire. And then you did a zoom in. So it's like this, okay, 1 second from the out, we come in. And so then, where is the fear coming from? It's coming from something that is so far in the future. We're not even there. Can we take it out of the picture and move towards these smaller things that we can manage? These are digestible parts of our day, of our life, that will eventually lead us to that bigger goal or that huge success. And then when we arrive there, it won't be with that sense of like, oh my God, I'm approaching. It's actually, wow, great. I'm here. I'm almost to the top of this mountain. And, it's a beautiful exercise, I believe, to do in all things, because that's that point where you take yourself from that intense emotion, right? Where you can just become the observer of all this, where you don't have to be wrapped and manipulated by these emotions or self-conscious. And however, we don't disregard that, right? We're always going to look at these emotions and thoughts that come up for us as guides, as flashlights. Because if we just regard it and just say, oh, everything's good, it's all good, we're all moving forward, going to the light, I mean, really, you know what I mean? That's kind of like the monkey going, hear no evil, see no evil, and we're just moving. So we definitely want to use these signs, these signals, these ideas that come up for us, emotions, and even if they're not great, that will then in turn show us how we can overcome and how we can move faster. So always appreciate hearing from you, Scott. Thank you so much for sharing. And Eddie, Mr. Eddie, let's hear from you.
Hello, everybody. And our gracious host, Miss Karen, and then there's the co-host, Miss Patricia Street there. Yeah, she's got a title now. I'm getting emotional here. I was 17 when I was introduced to my first opportunity to get involved with a business. I mean, it was multi-level marketing, but I remember asking this guy this question. After he's explained to us all this money you can make and all this, I said, well, how do you keep up with all those people? And everybody looked at me like I was, wow, because that, of all the questions I asked, I'm looking back and it was really revealing about me. My problem was dealing with people. That was my fear of success. I mean, I'm a geek. I was a geek before that word was even created. There was no word for that when I was a kid. They just called you goofy. Even now, I mean, I'm comfortable by myself, but I also transformed into a public person, as you starting to see. But I evolved into this. I'm here to start talking about personal development. There is nothing more powerful than personal development. You should be doing this all the time. Self-mastery. You should know who you are. And that person changes. You're evolving into something. I mean, listen how I speak now. I promise you. My hands shook when I had to get up in front of a class and give a book report. I mean, visibly. And I'm, and I mean, my words are so archaic. People just, where did he come from? And it got worse when forced busing came in, but I was afraid of people's perception of me. And these are the things, and I'm telling you, I'm serious now. I've had enough failures in business to really understand this, but it all taught me something about me. You actually stand still and know what you need to do and don't do it. All this knowledge in your head. I've read a lot of these books I'm hearing y'all talk about. I read them more. I've read, and I realized, how do I get past this? Because knowledge is great, but it's only powerful when it's used. Applied knowledge. And so Spirit has told me, and I keep throwing Spirit because that's what it says. It says you are right where you need to be, Eddie. And I'm going, well, God, come on, you wait till I'm 60 plus years old. So, well, I'm old. You're old. What do you mean you're old? I'm old. Some of my best friends and my bosses, 25 and 30 years old. And they don't even like chastising me. Because I said, it's because I'm old. I said, no, Mr. Eddie, we supposed to respect you. And I'm starting to think, you got to learn to respect yourself, Eddie. Self-respect, that's self-mastery. And now, I mean, I've gotten to the point where I often don't want to get on here and speak because I'm trying to pour it all out at one time. Because I'm feeling all this powerful knowledge I picked up and I'm saying, this is it. There aren't but 3 demons you have to deal with in life. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. One is fear. That's a demon. The second one is doubt. And the third one is confusion. Don't let anybody tell you about something coming out of some pit somewhere. That's none of that. No. The only demons in life. Now, don't worry about the crazies down the street, whoever doing something over here or whatever. That's got nothing to do with you. What are you about? I promise you, right outside my door, regular, 6 and 8 police cars. Whoa, woo, woo, woo. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Nothing. They ain't coming to get me. I'm walking right past. I walk past the police tape and open my door, go inside and do my work. Because I got all this experience of how to deal with me. And now that I'm getting it, I'm regurgitating it because this is what I was taught to do. Eddie, I've given you the tools. That's why I didn't plan to be a coach, but I got coached. You know, and I listen to Scott Baker and I'm going, this guy did some things in his time. And you know, Spirit tells me, Eddie, it's all right to admire Scott, but you've done some things in your time too. You know, I mean, I'm looking at our co-host there, and we had a conversation because I heard she was sick. And one of the titles I have is healer. I don't tell the world that. God said, why not? I said, well, no. He said, you scared to tell people you're a healer? You know how you became a healer, Ellie? Because you learned how to heal you. And I heard Scott talk about emotional baggage. That's my specialty. Get rid of your baggage. You should be surprised how the procrastination will stop. That's what's stopping you. You worrying about what your friends might say, what your enemies might say, what you gonna look like. If I get all this money, how many people are gonna want some of my money? Who do I give some to, who I don't? Oprah said she told Stevie Wonder, no, Stevie, I would not be giving you anything to your charity. After them, how do you tell Stevie no? She said, with the same mouth I tell anybody else no. But it's a growing process. So when I came to this business here, and I've said this more than once, I know what I got a really good idea how Rachel Frey was feeling when she was at these cash registers, dealing with all these irate customers and all this aggravation at Walmart and all this crazy confusion. And she's saying, I can't wait to get off so I can start working on my business. That's called focus. And it powered her. And I've already made up my mind. When it's going to be, I'm not sure the date is, but I'm leaving Walmart because it's getting in the way of what I want to do. I made that decision. I'm recovering from sickness. And they looking at me going, we don't take doctor's excuses. I didn't give you an excuse. I told you I was sick. I didn't have a doctor's excuse. I didn't go to a doctor. I doctored me. But I started realizing, whoa, this has had to do with my self-respect. I didn't ask y'all for anything. I just come to work and do the job. But I'm not being appreciated. So I need to go and find an audience that appreciates me more. That made me get my decision to go ahead and move on, because Missy said something so powerful. She said, Eddie, it sounds like you no longer need that job. I don't. I don't need it for financial reason or that. I like it because I've gotten so good at talking to people and customers and all this kind of stuff. And he said, Eddie, look, you don't need a job for that. You can go and visit Walmart. If you like it so much like that, shop there. I'm going, it's all about perspective. The paradigm shift, as they call it. How do you see the world? And I see the world as this big old beautiful place that I can't wait to get out there in it and have the freedom to go do what I want to do, because I'm conquering every fear, every bit of doubt. Confusion is cleared up by clarity. When you know what you want to do and you go after it, the confusion is gone. The skies are blue. And even in a storm, you know what your objective is. Well, try your best not to get wet and get hit in the head by a flying cow or something. But go ahead and get ready and keep your focus on what you want to do. Fear can be conquered, doubt can be mastered, and confusion can be slapped aside. Move on with life. That's my big message today. I'm primed to even tell you this. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm finished. I promise you I'm finished.
Wow, it sounds like you're undergoing a transformation. I don't know. I think I was saying a little bit unstable, but it sounds like you're going through a transformation.
Hey, I'm guilty.
That's exciting. It's so exciting. And I'm excited that we're here to witness that with you, and we're rooting for you. And we know that you can do anything that you put your mind to it. You know, you're awesome, and you speak with so much passion. Yeah, you got it. You keep moving forward. You know the way, you know it. And so that's really exciting. And I'm really, really happy for you. And I'm excited that we get to, witness your journey. Yay. That's what's so special about this platform. And you were saying, you were afraid to speak. And I encourage everyone that wants to speak. Speak your mind, say what it is on your, that you want to express with others. Share your journey. You have so much to inspire others just by living your own truth. You can inspire others. And so I feel really fortunate that you're here with us. So thank you so much. Patricia, my co-host. Where are you? Oh, there we go. Patricia, we can't hear you. I see your hand up. Jewel, let's see where Patricia.
Oh, there I am. I'm there. I couldn't get it to unmute. I'm sorry. I have there was a man that I admired and listened to when he would say things, because he had a lot of profound thoughts, and a lot of people don't like him because of his thoughts and his attitudes, but he was one of the greatest Western actors of all time to me, and that's Mr. John Wayne. And he talked a lot about courage and about success. And he said that, let me see if I can find my piece of paper. Hold on just a minute. He said, first of all, he said, what is success? And I wrote it over on there, but I'm gonna read it again. What is success? Right decisions. How do you make right decisions? Experience. How do you get experience? Wrong decisions. So even if you're scared, which I'm saying you, which I'm talking about me more than anything, because when it talks about success, I am afraid of success, but I try to push on through that fear and do what I got to do because of, like he said, wrong decisions. No matter what, you got to get yourself up and dust yourself off, or as he said, where was it? Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway. You got to just keep getting up and going. But oh shoot, where did it go? Hold on. I can't, I had something that it was copied and I lost it. I'm sorry. But anyway, a lot of what, no, I was trying to find the quote.
What's the secret of success?
Oh, he said, no. He said success is achieved by the end of the journey and not from the start. Every great man undergoes times of fretfulness, but this set achievers and losers apart. As I always remember what my mentors tell me, it doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is how many times you stand up when you fall. So in other words, you don't, have that end goal of I'm going to be a millionaire, but don't be afraid. Don't sit there and just dwell on that fear of that. Get up and start doing one step at a time. And each step is going to get you closer to being there. And it kind of helps you from getting scared. And his son, Ethan, became good friends with my father right before my father died. He wrote a book about living life through cancer. Yeah. And he wanted to use a picture of John Wayne on the front of his book. And Ethan told him, no, we can't do that because the pictures belong to somebody else, but you can make a caricature if you know somebody who's a good artist. Well, Daddy did. And the picture of the book on the front is this old man walking down a hospital hall, holding the little stand with the ID thingy on it. He's got on a hospital gown and you're seeing him from the back. And of course, the hospital gown is open a little bit, so you see part of his little booty. And in front of him is a full-length mirror. And what the man sees, he's an old man, but what he sees in that mirror is John Wayne. So he's got to fight to keep going, And Ethan said that he was talking about his dad one day, and he said that, and there's a quote that I found, and so he must have said it to other people, but he said that John Wayne only reminded us of what we need to live our lives with dignity, courage, and sincerity. Even if life throws us challenges, we must learn how to face and defy all odds. So in other words, you just got to keep fighting. If you're scared, if you think you don't know what you're doing, and of course the you part is still me, you got to take a deep breath and saddle up anyway, and just keep going and keep fighting. Keep that goal, that main goal out there, but have little goals each point so you can have a success for every little goal you make to get that big success. And you know what? When you achieve that big success, you got another one that's a way far out there that you got to keep going for. So you're never going to quit. You're never going to stop, because when you quit, that's death. You know, you have no more life. So you that's it. But that's it. That was just, he always gave me courage. And I know a lot of people might not think about that, but that's what's kept me going. And that's what kept me in my 12 years of the military, was thinking about, you got to get up and saddle up anyway. Just keep going no matter what. But that's my thought of the day. Thank you.
I love it, Patricia. It actually comes exactly on time. My son was invited to a party, and he comes back. Apparently there was some game with all these 80s songs, and he's like, "Oh mom, I found this song at a party," and he puts it on. It's this old, I don't know if 80s, but like early 90s or something. I don't know if you remember it, but it's like, I get knocked out and I get up again. I'm never gonna keep me down. I get knocked out. And I haven't thought about that song in at least 20 some years. And like you would just, exactly your words into that. And it's like, exactly. Yes, she knows it, Amber. I was like, who would ever know the name? That she put it in the chat. I'm not going to even attempt to say it, but even what is it? The word, the name of the song. Anyways, it's funny. But how funny, right? Because I would hear it growing up. You forget about it. And then my 13-year-old son brings it back around, and it's exactly your words. And thank you, Scott, for talking about the flying cow, because from being so excited, his revelation here, I forgot about the flying cow, which was the best part, one of the best parts of the story. Eddie, did you notice the flying cow in your story of the storm? So definitely we need to be aware of flying cows. I love it. That's the fun part of being a community that's like family. You see, like an extended family, right? Where we get to support each other and share these fun, and just really great tidbits from our life that can inspire others. So I appreciate you a lot, Patricia. Jewel, let's hear from you, and
yes.
Give you time to wrap it up.
Okay, I'll make this quick. I'm really enjoying this. And I think I really like this topic today, because we all have fear in whatever form, whether it's success, whether it's change, whether it's, getting married, having a baby. We all have fear as a challenge. And in this business, from going from not wealthy to being wealthy, that's a big change. It's a whole different lifestyle. So I realized that it involves learning, courage, trying to go from where I'm at to where I'm trying to go. And I have obstacles like everybody else, but what I've been doing lately that seems to have been helping me is I try to keep a notebook and pen. Sometimes it's the same notebook, sometimes it's a different one, but I try to always have something very close by me to write with, so that if I have an idea or something that I may not be able to do, if it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, or if I'm somewhere where I can't actually execute, and just keep these notes and make time at the end of the day or whenever I can do, look at my little notes and make time, because procrastination is a dream killer. You have to be able to have ideas, and like Scott was saying, you have to be able to, Eddie, you have to execute. You have to take action. You can't just dream, because dreams will stay a dream until you take action. And I feel good every day, because every day I'm taking action. Even when I have to face procrastination, I realize just the small step closer to your goal is better than no step at all. And that's all I have.
That's beautiful. That's a perfect summary. And you even mentioned a lot of the things that we ask you all to do as part of our daily mode of operation. Day one, when you sign up for the low-hanging system, you get a video of either John Lavinia or myself, explaining the daily mode of operation. And we say, you know, part of it is journaling and making, you know, taking money making activities. And, you know, we even on our welcome call, we say put one foot in front of the other. It's exactly what you summarize now is what you do. And that's what we want you to do. Visualize, rise with an attitude of gratitude, get the blood pumping, move around and, you know, move towards it so that, you know, if you've just joined within 2 to 3 weeks, when you're scheduled with your business strategy session, you will have progressed, you will have moved forward. And if you've already been here for a while and you've either joined our Launch 100 or not, you know that you are closer to your goal from the day that you started, and you keep on moving forward, and you can visually track your progress, either written down or by your own, you know, just measurements of how you've progressed from day one. So thank you so much. That was a perfect summary. Thank you for joining in on the conversation. I will end by saying, if you have any questions, thanks Kim for that. You know, what we put in the chat, everybody can read. The community is so helpful here that they are helping everyone out, everyone that wants help. Amber and Scott and many other students stay after this call and help other students out. So what will happen is I'm going to end this meeting. Your screen will turn off. It will look like we are done. What you would do is you would come back into the same link that you joined to get into this call, and the students will help you out with any questions that you have, or, you know, whatever they have decided to share today. And it's just so heartwarming and wonderful that the students, out of the goodness, the kindness of their heart, are willing to help each other out. So thank you all for doing that. Thank you all for joining on this fabulous conversation. I will see you on Thursday. I see so many more faces that came online. Hello, everyone that I wasn't able to acknowledge in the beginning. Really great to see you all here. I will see you on Thursday. The fabulous John Lavinia is here tomorrow. Thank you all and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Karen. Bye.
She didn't shut us down. You're muted. You're muted, Patricia.
I said, I see the same thing, and I was trying to end, and it popped back up and wouldn't let me end.
Maybe we're just carrying on in this spot. I don't know.
I don't know.
Because Scott, you got
Hello.
any idea?
What's going
Are
on?
we just staying here rather than going?
She didn't end us.
Coming back? Yeah.
Wow. I just rejoined. She
No
must
problem?
not have ended it.
No.
Maybe
Well,
some
well,
of us were able to stay in while the others.
Well,
rejoined.
what I'm saying is I got out of the meeting and I just rejoined and here I am. So
like usual, right?
yeah.
It didn't let me in. I tried to end and it said no. Apparently
What?
it wanted me to stay. Yeah, apparently
Well,
it wanted me to stay.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Patricia?
what, that is
Patricia?
very mysterious.
Very.
Patricia,
Patricia,
Yes.
somebody's
what happened, I think because she made you host
Uh-huh.
earlier, and she probably didn't take you off of it. So she probably thought that was John as
Yes.
being host. Because if you look on your chat, you're the one that writing down and it's got you as a host. So she hasn't taken you off as being the host. So I guess you're hosts right through.
Well, there's one
So,
thing
yes.
here. There's one thing that I clicked on. It says live on the YouTube. It says stop live stream, stop view stream on YouTube, copy streaming link. So I could